according to a leaked audio file, Celsius might be planning to turn its debt into IOU tokens. So the leaked file, you can hear Celsius's CTO and co-founder Nuke Goldstein detailing the plan. As we can all remember,
Can I
Celsius filed for
interrupt?
Chapter 11. Yeah,
This is the greatest name in crypto history.
I know.
Nuke
I know.
Goldstein. Nuke Goldstein is the man
I did a
behind
double take.
a failed Ponzi scheme, alleged Ponzi scheme. We don't know yet.
What?
But
I
okay,
mean,
continue.
it just Nuke Goldstein sounds like the best supervillain name ever. I know everyone on Twitter had a really good time with the name when the story broke yesterday. So, as everyone can remember, Celsius filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in July, and this was 1 month after halting withdrawals due to liquidity issues. So, Will, I'm going to pop this one up to you. Besides Nuke's name, what do you make of this solution?
Honestly, we could just do the whole show about Nuke Goldstein's name because it's
really
just that
could.
fantastic. But we shouldn't. There's more pressing topics to cover within this story. The most interesting thing about it to me is the IOU solution, right? Because like this token has been done before, like this token idea. Bitfinex is probably like the largest name out there for doing this. They issued the Leo token after a hack in 2016 where they saw a bunch of Bitcoin, billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin were stolen from them. And they issued this token in order to shore up their books. And that actually worked out very successfully. It took a few years, but they got their Bitcoin back. And that was actually happened this year with a very interesting story about a TikToker who broke into the back end of Bitfinex and sold a bunch of Bitcoin, but that's for another day. The point is they use the IOU token, were able to shore up their company and continue to work and survive. But on the other hand, there's other stories where this does not happen, right? Where people issue a token, does not really work for their company, and then people are still holding the bag now just with this basically worthless promise that only unravels more over time. There's some interesting points to this token they're coming up with. Nuke had some great comments on it. We don't know if this is actually going to happen as well. This is according to leaked video stuff from a customer of Celsius. So we'll still have to see if this is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they do this though, right? Like they're already sort of shady. They already do some interesting things, and this would be sort of in their tradition. Sam, I'm going to throw it over to you, get your take.
Yeah, I mean, one element of this story that I think we kind of brush over, but is just cool, is the fact that this came from leaked audio. So there's this YouTuber named like Tiff Talks, I think, where this all came from. And you can actually hear Mashinsky, who we just talked about, talking through this strategy and the kind of brazenness with which he goes about explaining this new system that he's planning on setting up kind of illuminates not only, this story, what they're planning on doing, but also the mindset that, the architect of this broader Celsius scheme or product or whatever you want to call it, the way that he's going about this kind of still shows that he's optimistic, and he's still basically got this hope that they'll be able to throw it all together in the end through this new scheme or whatever you want to call it. I just think that it's fascinating. So even if you're not a part of Celsius, you never invested, you're just reading this, you don't understand it, I recommend listening to the audio because it's just fascinating and gives some insight into how some of these crypto folks think about, all these big headlines behind the scenes.
Yeah, that optimism is kind of worrying when you see a story like this, right? It's like, at what point do we accept that things have gone wrong and show some kind of vulnerability? I mean, this isn't the only thing that's happening with Celsius right now. There are two other stories that were very popular this morning. One about the Washington state regulator joining the bankruptcy case. So that now includes Washington, Alabama, Kentucky, New Jersey, and Texas that are all investigating the company. And equity holders are wondering what's going to happen to them after this bankruptcy filing, saying that, the majority of the focus has been on retail customers, but there was that $750 million Series B round that was raised just before, this company kind of exploded. So I just think that optimism shows someone who's just a little bit out of touch right now. I don't know. I don't like it. I like to see people, show that they care and understand that this is a bad time.
There's a huge hole in their balance sheet as well, right? According to this story, we have some information about like what assets they have on hand. They owe about $5 billion worth of assets to a lot of different creditors. And making sure those assets go to the right hands is not only an expensive process, but we don't necessarily know if those assets are really worth that much, right? Because we're in the land of crypto and everything goes up and everything goes down. Right now we're down, right? So one asset they're talking about this is actually the mining subsidiary Celsius Mining, which had a pretty large presence in the United States. And they're hoping that they can use this mining arm in order to shore up their books, maybe sell it off piecemeal. But just looking at the mining industry right now, everything is down 70, 80, 90%. It's probably not worth what they think it is. They still have the same amount of creditors who are expecting the same amount of money. How do you get out of that? Maybe this token works. I don't think it will. It really does sound like someone named Newt Goldstein came up with this idea. It doesn't really seem like something that's going to get them out of this situation.